This film is unique. It invites you, the viewer, to actively participate in a spiritually transformational ritual. About an hour in length, this ritual consists of 2 meditations and 7 individual ceremonies. When joined together, these ceremonies reflect the symbolism of many cultures and the wisdom teachings from many ages. The ritual is of a symbolic, philosophical, or spiritual nature, and is not a ritual of a religion or organization. It is, therefore, universal and calls out for all to participate freely. If this is the first time that you are watching or participating in this ritual, welcome. Before the ritual begins, it is important that you determine how deeply you wish to engage with the content. First, pause the video momentarily. Then review the suggestions listed in the video description and return to the film when you are ready to proceed. And now, a new universal ritual for humanity. Let us praise the grace and risk of fire. In the beginning, the Word was red, and the sound was thunder, and the wound in the unseen spilled forth the red weather of being. In the name of the fire, the flame, and the light, praise the pure presence of fire that burns from within without thought of time. The hunger of fire has no need for the reliquary of the future. It adores the eros of now, where the memory of the earth in flames that lick and drink the air is made to release its long enduring forms in a powder of ashes left for the wind to decipher. As air intensifies the hunger of fire, may the thought of death breathe new urgency into our love of life. As fire cleanses dross, may the flame of passion burn away what is false. As short as the time from spark to flame, so brief may the distance be between heart and being. May we discover beneath our fear embers of anger to kindle justice. May courage cause our lives to flame. In the name of the fire and the flame and the light.
A los vientos del sur, to the winds of the south. Great serpent, wrap your coils of light around us. Teach us to shed the past the way you shed your skin. Allow us to create sacred space for this young man, for his healing and the healing of all his lineages, shedding the old skin so he, as all of us, may become more whole, to walk the beauty way, gently upon Pachamama, Mother Earth. A los vientos del oeste, to the winds of the west, Mother Jaguar, Jaguar, protect our medicine space as we conduct this sacred work now. Teach us the way of peace, of stillness, and how to live impeccably. As you walk gracefully and silently through the dark forest, walk with all of us, so we may know the way beyond death. A los vientos del norte, to the winds of the north, that carry the courageous colibri, the hummingbird, along its epic journey of migration. Teach us, and our young warrior who has traveled so far, to stay the course, facing fear with courage and resilience, and always remembering to pause along the way and enjoy the sweet nectar of life. Help us to listen to your whispering winds, carrying the wisdom and guidance of our abuelitos y abuelitas, our grandfathers and grandmothers, along with all the ancestors who watch over us and illuminate our darkest nights, so we may know the way. We heal and release the ancestral patterns that no longer serve us, honoring you who have come before us and you who will come long after we are gone. A los vientos del este, to the winds of the east, great águila, eagle, and condor, come to us from the place of the rising sun and keep us under your wing as you teach us to fly wingtip to wingtip with the Great Spirit. Soaring high above the mountains, help us to see beyond the minutiae of life so we may behold the infinite possibilities available to us in each moment and within each breath. Padre Sol, Father Sun, Grandmother Moon and all the star nations, Taitainti, Tunkanshila, Wiracocha, Wakan, Great Spirit, you who are known by 1,000 names and you who are the unnameable one. Thank you for bringing us together and allowing us to sing the song of life and create space for the healing of this family. Pachamama, beloved Mother Earth, blue jewel amidst the vast universe, who gives, sustains, and nourishes all life. Though we often take more than we need and return only our trash and toxicity, you continue to love us unconditionally, teaching us patiently with your abundant generosity. Receive our love and gratitude now as we gather here for the honoring and healing of all your children, the stone people, the plant people, the four-legged, the two-legged, the creepy crawlers, the finned, the furred, and the winged ones. We ask forgiveness and forgive, cleansing the waters of our bodies and all bodies of water. Help us to know balance, living in Aini, sacred reciprocity with all our relations. Corazón amado, beloved heart, center of this being, magical spiral muscle whom embodies the very architecture of the cosmos, beating faithfully so I may remember how to be a better relative, how to recognize the beauty in each moment, and how to steward this precious gift of life for my good and the greatest good of all beings. We welcome this family to the fire, that healing may happen here. To all my relations, aho mitakoyasin, ashe, amen, ometeot. And so it is.
We call upon the celestial realms, the angelic beings, the planetary guides and protectors, and the ascended ones, to bless mankind and to be present here with us. We call upon the divine light of love, truth, and harmony to shine in the places that need healing and to guide our way. We ask for these blessings with great reverence from our Mother, the Earth, from the sky, the moon, the stars, and the sun, our Father. May we always remember that we are pure consciousness, the essence of life and the source of all things. May we find the courage to let go of fear and the pain of past conditioning. Let us walk upon the earth gently,
as true spiritual warriors, interdimensional midwives giving birth to our true self. Letting go of separation, evolving beyond limitation into divine self-expression, thereby assisting in the co-creation of a dawning, light-filled world. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. With this embodied presence you have been entrusted. An ancient gift passed from ancestor to ancestor, culminating in your heart, your hands. Here you breathe at the apex of an infinite spiral. Here your heart pulses its place in the web of interbeing. Reach deep into the legacy of the ancestors. Open fully to the vision of the future. You are the medicine. Life is the ritual. We offer this ceremony to the winged breath, the dancing fire, the rooted earth, and the water of life, for all our relations. In bowing to our noble origins, we open new timelines of regeneration. Release your resonance into this timeless dream, awakened.
the subject is profound. It cannot get any more profound. The very heart of Vedanta, the very core of Vedantic teaching is the divinity within us. Swami Vivekananda said the two things that he taught is the divinity of the human soul and the oneness of all existence. And indeed, the divinity of the human soul and the oneness of all existence, that is the theme today. If you have seen the subject, it's a Sanskrit word, Mahavakya. Mahavakya literally means great sentence. Vakya, sentence, Maha, great, or profound sentence. And what is this great sentence? You and the Absolute are one and the same reality. In fact, if I were to become even more radical, I would say what it means is this: there is no God but you, and you are nothing but God. Whatever you think of yourself as other than God, you are mistaken, and you are truly God. And whatever you think of God, you are mistaken unless you realize it as truly yourself, your own true self. The definition of a Mahavakya, a profound sentence in Vedanta, a great sentence in Vedanta, is any sentence which expresses the identity of the human and the divine, the identity of Jiva and Brahman. Jiva Brahma Aikya Bodhaka Vakyam. Any sentence which expresses the identity of you and God is a Mahavakya. There are many such sentences in the Vedas, especially in the Upanishads. But for the sake of convention, for the sake of representation, we take 4 sentences in the Vedantic tradition, and I'm always talking about the Advaita Vedanta tradition. We take 4 sentences as representative of the 4 Vedas. These sentences are from the Rig Veda, the Aitareya Upanishad. You have a sentence, very short, 2 words, Prajnanam Brahma. Prajnanam Brahma. What does that mean? The awareness that you are feeling right now, the sentience, the awareness, the consciousness that we experience right now at all times, that consciousness, truly understood, is none other than the Absolute Brahman, the one which you feel right now. Prajnanam Brahma. So you come to the Samaveda. In Samaveda, Chandogya Upanishad, and the very famous, of all the Mahavakyas, the most famous, most well-known is Tat Tvam Asi. In the Chandogya Upanishad, in the 6th chapter, 9 times, the teacher happens to be the father of the student, he repeats to his son, tells his son, teaches his son, that thou art. Tat Tvam Asi. 9 times. What is that? Brahman. What is thou? The individual you. You are Brahman. He teaches him 9 times through different examples and different kind of reasoning. Then come to the 3rd one, Yajur Veda. In Yajur Veda, in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we find, you cannot get more direct than this. Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. I am Brahman. I, the individual. If I truly know myself, then I am Brahman, the Absolute. And then we have the Atharva Veda, the 4th one. I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. What does it mean? This very self. I am this. Atma, self. This very self is none other than Brahman. This very self is Brahman. So, 4 sentences. And they don't say 4 different things. They don't add to each other. They all say the same thing in different ways. From the Rig Veda, Prajnanam Brahma. This very awareness is Brahman. From the Samaveda, Tattvamasi, that thou art. From the Yajur Veda, Aham Brahmasmi. And from the Atharva Veda, Ayam Atma Brahma. This very self is Brahman. These are the 4 great Mahavakyas, the 4 Mahavakyas, 4 great sentences from the Vedanta literature. You know, this is the central truth of religion. I'm not just saying about Vedanta. In fact, if we look across the religious literature of the world, we find great mystics. It's usually the great mystics who have come upon this truth in every religious tradition of the world. In every tradition. I'll give you a few examples. William Law, who was an Anglican priest in the 18th century in the Church of England. He was a mystic also. in his writings you find something beautiful. He says, William Law, he writes, remember, Anglican, Christian, he says, it is true that God is in all things, but man cannot see God outside. The senses which perceive all things cannot perceive God. So you cannot see God, sense or hear God or touch God. So senses cannot perceive God. The internal faculties, I'm quoting William Law, the internal faculties of man, the memory, the will, the emotions, they reach for God and yet cannot reach Him. But they have their source, he says, the internal faculties of man, they have their source in something which is central. And he gives three terms which he uses. Like he says, like they are like lines from a center. The internal faculties, our emotions, our intellect, our memory, they are like lines from a center. One example. They are like branches from the trunk of a tree. And they are like from the ground up, they come from a ground. The ground, he says the ground, the fund, the center of all our faculties, the soul. And he says, the soul, instead of saying just the soul, he says there is the bottom of the soul. He says that it's the very bottom of the soul we find infinity there. And that infinity is not satisfied in anything except the infinity of God. So you can see he's scrabbling for words to express something that he knows is right. And the infinity within, he says, there we will find God. Plotinus, of course, very well-known mystic and who is very Vedantic. He says, each is all. The all is each. Seeing the self in all and the all in the self. That's Upanishadic. Here it is Plotinus. Each is all is each. Man as he is has ceased to be the all. But when man ceases to be an individual, he raises himself again to be the all and penetrates the universe. Again, you see, Mahavakya. In Taoism, Chuang-Tzu, he says, where is the Tao? Do not ask whether the Tao is in this or that. The Tao penetrates all. It has decreed that the all should be limited, but it in itself is unlimited. Then the Kabbalah, the Ein Sof, in the Jewish tradition, the Ein Sof, the ultimate reality. Mahayana Buddhism, the Buddha nature. It's not just the Gautama Buddha. The Buddha nature is in all, and the whole purpose of Buddhism is to discover your own Buddha nature. So many Christian mystics. Saint Catherine of Genoa. Look at this, I really like this. My me is God. Nor do I recognize any other me than God Himself. And of course we come to Meister Eckhart, whom you would expect to be very Vedantic. He says in one place, the ground of God is the ground of the soul. I don't think any Vedantic text expresses it any better. In other words, what you consider to be God and what you consider to be individual, both are nothing but manifestations of one absolute, the ground of all existence. He says again, and there are many, many such Mahavakyas in Meister Eckhart. The knower and the known are one. Man thinks he will see God as, here I am and there is God. But no, that is not true. One sees God only as oneself in knowledge. Mahavakya, Meister Eckhart. Sufis, they had a poetic, mystic intuition of the oneness of the individual and God. I love this saying of a Sufi mystic. When I searched for God, I found myself. When I searched for myself, I found God. Mahavakya again. Our own divinity and the oneness of existence, this is the central theme of the Mahavakya. Swami Vivekananda here, when he came to this country, he said, sinners, it is a sin to call thee sinners. You are children of immortal bliss. That thou art. He popularized it. He would chant the Sanskrit, Tattvamasi, and then translate into English, that thou art, more than 100 years ago.
We stand at the threshold of a great dawning. Something deep within life is changing. An era is ending. And at the very core of creation, something new is being born. We are awakening from a long collective sleep, an in vitro dreaming deep within the womb of our Mother Earth. Now is the time of a great shifting of cosmic wheels, which will result in the reformation of our Earth and trigger a radical shift in consciousness. A galactic tidal wave of light is descending upon the Earth, activating the highest potential, raising the frequency. Reality is being reformed, redefined. The activation of new neural patterns will trigger new perceptions, new information, new impulses, and the recalibration of DNA. Open yourself to these high dimensional frequencies. Let go. Love each other in these coming times. Be kind to each other. Gather in community. Share yourself. Live your dream. Live your heart. Open yourself. Be prepared for the challenges to come, the dark times of chaos and upheaval. We will experience a dynamic recalibration of electromagnetic fields and Earth systems on a global scale. Stay present. Stay calm and centered. Try not to judge what is happening. Surrender to the process. Hold firm in the knowledge of what is being birthed. The process of birthing is an awesome undertaking, an arduous task, often fraught with intensity. Stay in the heart. Stay connected to beloved friends and family. Remember that this too shall pass, and is a necessary purification, a great purge of all that is not in resonance with what is being born in us. All will be redeemed and reformed in miraculous ways. Chaos will become peace, and sorrow will become joy. Trust. Trust with love. The butterfly is a marvelous demonstration of the power within trust and vulnerability, and in the miracle of metamorphosis. After all, what is a butterfly, if not the flowering of a caterpillar beyond its wildest dreams? Emerging from the womb of the chrysalis, the butterfly discards its restrictive silken shell to inherit a magical new world of flowers, breezes, and sunshine. A world of freedom and delight and the celebration of its divine nature. Spreading her wings for the first time, she has no idea whether she can fly. She simply opens her wings in perfect confidence and is effortlessly conveyed into the spiral dance of graceful flight. And all that then remains is the joyous participation in the divine ecstasy of creation. As you turn your light inward and witness your true nature, you become an empty mirror and go beyond beliefs or doctrines. Dissolving the veils, the formless takes form. Going or coming, we are in the right place. As the veils are lifted, we will perceive worlds of unimaginable beauty. Self-transforming astral worlds of light will shine down and interpenetrate the density of matter, making it translucent, less dense, and more permeable to our thoughts and feelings. Multidimensional reality and the interconnectedness of all things will be as clear as sunlight. And just as the light is not separate from the sun, and the wave is not separate from the ocean, so shall we realize our connection to the source and recognize ourselves in each other as one vast ocean of love and light. Let the divine recognize the divine. Lights will find other lights. And as the spark ignites within you, so it will ignite in others, in a majestic radiance of consciousness, and set the world alight in its magnificence. A new world, without fear, without war, without greed, in the safe custodianship of an awakened species, manifesting peace with love, light, and celebration. May the Divine Mother bless all sentient beings as her children. May the Ascended Ones bless mankind. May religion be swept away by the revelation of what we are. May the children of the earth understand that this is to be a birthing place of a new humanity, the birthing of a new man utterly discontinuous from the past, released, transformed, metamorphosed into a multidimensional being, conscious, whole, and free.
Infant of infinity, awaken, rise anew. The golden dawn rises with you. The time is now. Awaken, transform through breath. Let yourself feel the eternal rhythm, the rhythm of the cosmos, the rhythm inside your heart. You are the cosmic chords, vibrating life force, living light, breathing, carved from the stars. You are the living prophecy. Breathe. Breathe deep in the center of your heart. There you will find a truth awaiting you. In the silence, you will find the key to remember who you are and open ancient eyes.
Close your eyes. Listen. 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 Listen.
Well, now, the easiest way to get into the meditative state is to begin by listening. If you simply close your eyes and allow yourself to hear all the sounds that are going on around you, just listen to the general hum and buzz of the world as if you were listening to music. Don't try to identify the sounds you're hearing. Don't put names on them. Simply allow them to play with your eardrums. And let them go. In other words, you could put it, let your ears hear whatever they want to hear. Don't judge the sounds. There are no, as it were, proper sounds or improper sounds, and it doesn't matter if somebody coughs or sneezes or drops something. It's all just sound. And if I am talking to you right now and you're doing this, I want you to listen to the sound of my voice just as if it were noise. Don't try to make any sense out of what I'm saying, because your brain will take care of that automatically. You don't have to try to understand anything. Just listen to the sound. As you pursue that experiment, you will very naturally find that you can't help naming sounds, identifying them, that you will go on thinking, that is to say, talking to yourself inside your head automatically. But it's important that you don't try to repress those thoughts by forcing them out of your mind, because that will have precisely the same effect as if you were trying to smooth rough water with a flat iron. You're just going to disturb it all the more. What you do is this. As you hear sounds coming up in your head, thoughts, you simply listen to them as part of the general noise going on, just as you would be listening to the sound of my voice, or just as you would be listening to cars going by or to birds chattering outside the window. So look at your own thoughts as just noises. And soon you will find that the so-called outside world and the so-called inside world come together. They are a happening. Your thoughts are a happening, just like the sounds going on outside. And everything is simply a happening, and all you're doing is watching it. Can you hear the past? Can you hear the future? Can you hear the listener? Where do the sounds come from? Let them tell you the truth. 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 Now, in this process, another thing that is happening that is very important is that you're breathing. And as you start meditation, you allow your breath to run just as it wills. In other words, don't do at first any breathing exercise, but just watch your breath breathing the way it wants to breathe. And notice a curious thing about this. You say in the ordinary way, I breathe, because you feel that breathing is something that you are doing voluntarily, just in the same way as you might be walking or talking. But you will also notice that when you are not thinking about breathing, your breathing goes on just the same. So the curious thing about breath is that it can be looked at both as a voluntary and an involuntary action. You can feel on the one hand, I am doing it, and on the other hand, it is happening to me. And that is why breathing is a most important part of meditation, because it is going to show you, as you become aware of your breath, that the hard and fast division that we make between what we do on the one hand and what happens to us on the other is arbitrary. So that as you watch your breathing, you will become aware that both the voluntary and the involuntary aspects of your experience are all one happening. Now that may at first seem a little scary, because you may think, well, am I just the puppet of a happening, the mere passive witness of something that's going on completely beyond my control? Or on the other hand, am I really doing everything that's going along? Well, if I were, I should be God. And that would be very embarrassing, because I would be in charge of everything. That would be a terribly responsible position. The truth of the matter, as you will see it, is that both things are true. You can see it that everything is happening to you, and on the other hand, you're doing everything. For example, it's your eyes that are turning the sun into light. It's the nerve ends in your skin that are turning electric vibrations in the air into heat and temperature. It's your eardrums that are turning vibrations in the air into sound, and in that way, you are creating the world. But when we're not talking about it, when we're not philosophizing about it, then there is just this happening, this, and we won't give it a name. When you breathe for a while, just letting it happen and not forcing it in any way, you will discover a curious thing, that without making any effort, you can breathe more and more deeply. In other words, supposing you simply are breathing out, and breathing out is important because it's the breath of relaxation, as when we say, whew, and heave a sigh of relief. So when you are breathing out, you get the sensation that your breath is falling out. Dropping, dropping, dropping out, with the same sort of feeling you have as if you were settling down into an extremely comfortable bed. And you just get as heavy as possible and let yourself go. And you let your breath go out in just that way. And when it's thoroughly, comfortably out and it feels like coming back again, you don't pull it back in, you let it fall back in, letting your lungs expand, 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 until they feel very comfortably full. And you wait a moment and let it stay there, and then once again you let it fall So in this way, you will discover that your breath gets quite naturally easier and easier, and slower and more powerful. So that with these various aids, listening to sound, listening to your own interior feelings and thoughts, just as if they were something going on, not something you're doing, but just happenings, and watching your breath as a happening that is neither voluntary nor involuntary. You are simply aware of these basic sensations. Then you begin to be in the state of meditation. But don't hurry anything. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about what progress you're making. Just be entirely content to be aware of what is.